surfers got it hard because the waves come when they want to, right? Not when you want to schedule your weekend off. So the more you understand about surf forecasting, about predicting the surf that may come, the more that you're able to schedule your life and have the freedom to surf the waves at your favorite breaks when those favorite breaks are breaking. Aloha, my name is Ian Masterson. Not only do I teach surf science, culture, and technology courses at the college and high school level, but I also lifeguard here at the Kaneohe Marine Base at Pyramid Rock and North Beach. This job helps me to continue to be in the ocean environment and gain experience and knowledge about the field of ocean safety and recreation. So I became interested in knowing when is the best time for me to go surfing? And where do I go if I set a time? How do I plan my schedule around getting to go surfing as much as possible while still getting all my homework done? We have ships traveling out there on the open ocean, giving us observations. And we have remote station locations like weather stations, Kahuku Point, Bellows, the Honolulu International Airport. There are weather stations there that record the temperature, the humidity, atmospheric pressure, wind speed and direction. The buoys record wave height, wave periods. The frequency of waves tells you a lot about the types of waves. And of course, the estimations that we get from ships, from the surfers on the beach. All of these go into databases of knowledge. If we're beginners, we like soft, gentle, spilling waves. If we're advanced, want to surf pipeline, we want big plunging waves. I could look at a map of the ocean bottom contours of bathymetry without ever going to a spot and have an idea of whether that spot would be a good spot to surf. We surf diagonally breaking waves. As they peel along, they're peeling along a shallow reef underwater. On either side of this shallow reef are two deep areas known as channels. It may just be on one side if the break is just a right slide, but it oftentimes, like Sunset Beach, Paumalu, or Peahi on Maui, Jaws, is a triangular shaped reef. And as this wave energy passes across the Pacific, it's rolling along underneath the water. This energy is rolling in an orbital motion. And it feels the bottom as the bottom begins to get shallow. Waves break over shallow waters. That wave energy can no longer go in towards shore doing its orbit. Instead, it jumps up and pulls the water up, which falls over itself. It heaves up because there's nowhere else to go. The ground is forcing it, forcing the ocean to stand up. So this is a process of shoaling. What matters there is the slope, the contour, and the composition of the ocean floor. These are aspects of what's called bathymetry, the study of the ocean floor.
Rick Grigg is with us this morning, ocean scientist and professor here at UH. Thanks very much for joining us.
Good morning.
Author of a couple of books. How do we read this? And this has to do, as I understand it, with how we get a south swell. Is that right?
Right. You see the yellow path? There's kind of a window just east of New Zealand that shows the pathway or the trajectory that waves take as they travel from storms that are generated in that part of the ocean to Hawaii. It takes about 7 days for waves that are generated off New Zealand to actually get to Hawaii. So you see, you've got a whole week to plan how to go surfing and get out of work.
That seems to be a theme with you. Now,
well, actually, my work is oceanography.
Well, then you don't get out of work, you go to work every day. Now, a lot of folks equate earthquakes with big wave action once in a while when those rare occurrences happen. One in California wouldn't have any impact on wave action here, would it?
No, it wouldn't, not that particular one.
Yeah. Okay, you mentioned storms in the north bringing the south swell a week later. It loses a lot of power. The waves lose a lot of power coming that distance. But the north shore swell is always much bigger in the wintertime. Why is that? Less distance?
Yeah, it's primarily less distance, about 2 to 3 days, maybe 4 at the most. The waves have to travel from the storms in the North Pacific during the winter, whereas in the summer it's more like a week, and they decay every day, sort of like ripples in a pond, about 20% a day. And so they start out at 30 feet and they end up around 5 feet by the time they get to Hawaii.
Observation and awareness are the most important part of any experience you have in your life, because the more things that you observe during that experience and the more that you're aware of about your environment, about yourself, about the people around you, the more meaning you can get out of an activity and enriched understanding. And then you start to see the connectivity in life, in your life. From one game and one sport to the next, to going home, to doing your homework, to how well you do in the water when you're surfing, to the kind of aloha that you share with people. The more surf you can get, the more stoke you have to share, the more aloha you have.